Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn French with Anubhav. If you have already subscribed to my channel, press the bell icon to get the latest updates. In today's class, we are going to discuss active and passive voice in French with Passé Composé. Right. So around 2 months back, I uploaded a video on active and passive with present tense. And in that particular video, I discussed that I will be taking up each tense per video. Okay, so one video will be having one tense only when we are discussing active passive. When my next video of active passive will come, we will discuss another tense. Right. So present tense we have already covered, and today we will be doing past tense or passé composé. Okay. Fine. So let me just start writing and discussing what all we have for today's class. Okay. Fine. So Passé Composé's link and the link to the previous video of active and passive you will get in the description box, so don't worry. You can watch it if you haven't watched yet. Okay, so first let's quickly recap what active and passive mean. Okay, so active voice, it tells us what a person or thing does. And when we are talking about active voice, the formation is like this. We have the subject, then we have the verb, and then we have the object. Active voice tells us what a person or a thing does. Okay, this is your active voice. Now if you talk about passive voice, here object comes first, like this object will come here, and then we will have verb, and then we will have subject. And of course, before subject we will have some helping words like par and the. Right, these are used while conversion from active to passive. We will discuss it for sure in this video itself. Okay. So yeah, this is the basic formation. And what does it tell? Passive voice tells us what is done to someone or something. What is done to someone or something. And this is, and active voice is what? What someone or something does. So there's this difference between active and passive. And today we will be discussing how a sentence of passé composé in active voice, a sentence in active voice having passé composé gets converted to passive voice. Okay. So perfect. So now we will be directly talking about the formation. So active voice is like the normal sentence which we say, like the we can't even call it affirmative because passive voice can also be affirmative. Like the how should I say? Okay, like when you're not saying by, okay, when you are not putting emphasis on the object as such, right? You are directly speaking with the subject. That first the subject, like a basic sentence formation is what? We have the subject and the verb and then the rest of the sentence or the object, right? That's the most basic sort of sentence that we can have. So that is your active voice, okay? And when we are replacing that subject with the object and subject comes later, okay, that becomes passive. So yeah, so you can say active voice is your simple the most basic form of sentence that we can have, right? Subject plus verb plus object. So in active voice we have like the subject plus auxiliary verb. Okay, plus past participle. And then followed by the agreement, if applicable, then the object and the rest of the sentence. Right, so this is an active voice, subject. In passé composé, we have the auxiliary verb, right? Auxiliary verb are two. We have être and avoir. Dr. Mrs. Von der Tramp, Advent group, whichever method you follow, you can. Okay, I follow Dr. Mrs. Von der Tramp. So Dr. Mrs. Von der Tramp and all the pronominal verbs are conjugated with être as their auxiliary verb, and all the remaining verbs are in avoir. There is one concept in which auxiliary verb can also be changed depending on the sentence, but that thing, as of now, I'm just saying it will be discussed soon on my channel. Okay. There is one concept. It's not done in school. It's not like school level. It's like high level thing. Okay. So we will discuss it for sure. Anyways, être and avoir. In passé composé, we have their present tense conjugation. Okay, we have in present tense conjugation. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. And for avoir, j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Right. Then we have the past participle. The regular verbs have their own way of forming past participle. Then there are some exceptions. They have their own past participle. They don't follow any rule as such, right? So for past participles, you need to watch my Passé Composé video, for sure. Okay, so I will put the links in the description, so don't worry. And then the agreement. Agreement is what? Suppose your subject is feminine, then you add an extra E. If your subject is feminine plural, then ES. If subject is masculine, then no change. And the subject is masculine plural, then simply add an S to the past participle. And this agreement thing happens in two cases. Okay. Case number one, whenever être is there, agreement is for sure to happen. Okay. Être is there, so it will happen. Case number two, with avoir, it can happen if direct object pronoun is appearing. COD, complément d'objet direct. If it is appearing in the sentence before the verb, then you will follow the agreement. Right. So this is your active voice. Talking about the passive voice. The formation is this way. Now the object becomes the subject. So I am writing object here. Okay. In the brackets I am writing new subject. Because the object has taken its place. And the verb will be conjugated with respect to the new object. With the new subject, right? That's the object. Suppose the previous subject was in first person and the object was in second person. Right. So if object becomes the new subject, then the verb will be conjugated with respect to this. So that's why I'm writing new subject here. Okay. Followed by the auxiliary verb. Okay, we are discussing passé composé. So in passive also auxiliary verb will be conjugated in present tense only. Simple present tense. Then we have this thing is new. Okay. Été, it's not, okay, it also means summer, but here it does not mean summer. It's the past participle of être. Right. So, été, we put to do passive voice, right? Plus, now the past participle will come. And in passive, after the past participle, following the agreement will become compulsory. Why? Okay, if auxiliary verb is être, then we are sure to do this, right? But when it's avoir, then why to do? Apart from direct object pronoun thing. Why to do? Because we have etre's past participle here. Right, etre's past participle is here, that's why we need to follow the agreement. And then we have the helping words like par or the, and then we have the previous subject. Okay. So to this, and then the rest of the sentence of course, if there are any words as such. So to this you can memorize the basic formation of affirmative active passive for Passé Composé. And just give me 1 minute, let me just confirm that whether the recording is still going on or not. Just give me 1 minute. Yes, perfect. The recording is going on. Fine. And now we have discussed the theoretical part and this equation thing. You can take a look again. And now we are to move to this thing. What? The questions, example sentences. Right. Okay, let's do this way. 3 we are doing active, 3 sentence, let's do conversion from active to passive, and 2 we can do from passive to active. Okay, that way we can learn better. And yes, this topic is also present in G Moje, class 11, and as I said, Grammar topics will be discussed later. With this video, we have started the grammar. Okay, of that textbook, we have already discussed the initial 2-3 topics, right? For example, transitive, intransitive verbs, active, passive with present tense, then the preposition for countries, right? Those we have already discussed. So the topics that are left to be discussed, those I'll be discussing one by one. And again, the videos for the solving questions, the grammar questions of that textbook, those videos will be done separately. Okay, because it's not possible in a single video to do so many things, right? So that thing will be discussed separately. And suppose this is a part of chapter 2, right? Suppose, I don't remember whether it's chapter 2 or chapter 3. This topic is from chapter 2. So what will I do is, I will make a video on chapter 2's grammar and I'll discuss the questions and I will simply provide the link of this video so that the explanation, you have another video for that. Okay. Because there could be many viewers who are not in class 11 but still they want to watch active and passive. So if I explain active passive for class 11 in that particular video, those viewers may not watch, right? Who are not in 11th. That's why I'm discussing. For grammar explanation, there's a separate video. And for question discussion of the textbook, there will be a separate video. Easy, isn't it? So first one we have, Pierre a lavé son chien. Pierre washed his dog. So, Pierre washed his dog. Should I be writing the... I think I should be writing, yeah. That would be much better. Pierre a lavé son chien. Son chien becomes the subject, new subject. This is active, now passive. Son chien, it becomes le chien here. Of course, starting with son chien doesn't sound very good, right? The dog was washed by Pierre. Rather, son chien shouldn't be very long, but this sounds better. Le chien, right? So, le chien. Now, third person singular, so we don't need to worry much. Conjugation will be somewhat similar. A, lavé, in between, we will add éternel's past participle. Été, okay. So, le chien a été lavé. Fine. By whom? Par. Helping word, par. Pierre. Easy, isn't it? So, could have been sa chienne, female dog, sa chienne. Then, here also it will become la chienne and a été lavé with an extra e. Easy. Number 2, we have Paul a fait le ménage. Le ménage means the household work. Okay. Paul a fait le ménage. Now this becomes the new subject in passive. Le ménage. Again, third person singular, so it's fine. Not an issue. A été, past participle of faire, fait, par, Paul. Simple. The household work was done by Paul. Easy. Number 3. We have le professeur a interrogé beaucoup d'élèves. Now this is a bit tricky. Wait. Should I write? Okay, I'm writing it in short. I'm not writing the full thing. Professor. Professeur. If you want to write, you can. Avoid short forms in exam. Okay, I am writing here because of time constraint and space constraints. So yeah. Fine. Le professeur a interrogé beaucoup d'élèves. So the professor interrogated a lot of students. A lot of students were interrogated by the professor. Sometimes the translation can also help, right? In active, we are saying the professor interrogated. And in passive, what we want to say, a lot of children were interrogated, right? So this were or was, you can link it with été, isn't it? Address past participle, and then we have the past tense of the main verb, right? So in that way it can be easily linked. If you translate it, it becomes much more easier. So beaucoup d'élèves ont été, right? Third person plural, ont été interrogés with an S, masculine plural, right? Par le professor. Easy. Now let's twist it. I will write passive verb first and then we will convert it back to active. Okay. In case in your syllabus you have active and passive voice, in case, right, then both ways the question can be formed. Conversion from active to passive and conversion from passive to active. Both ways it can be done. So you should have the practice for both the things. Fourth one, we are doing passive first. Passive is la question a été comprise par tout le monde. Tout le monde, everyone, becomes a third person singular. Okay. So the question was understood by a comprendre, which means to understand, past participle with an e because la question feminine singular, par tout le monde. So the question was understood by everyone, right? So tout le monde becomes the new subject here while converting it back to active. So tout le monde. Now conjugation of comprendre with passé composé, a compris. No need of doing the agreement now. Okay, take care of that. Tout le monde a compris la question. Simple, isn't it? It is. Tout le monde a compris la question. And number 5 we have this. Tu as été appelé par ton père. Right. So the formation is slightly different than the sort of questions in which we are discussing, which we have been discussing in this video, right? So in this case, you will go for the reflexive pronoun, right? You will go for reflexive pronoun in this case. So ton père becomes the new subject in the active, right? Ton père, then the passé composé form a appelé. Now the reflexive pronoun for tu, te, and te will become t apostrophe. Why? Because this auxiliary verb begins with a vowel, right? So ton père. Oh yeah, one more thing. Ton père, third person singular, right? Here it was second person singular. Now the subject is of third person singular, so you need to be very careful, okay? So ton père t'a appelé. Your father called you. That's all. With this, we have completed affirmative active passive with passé composé. For negation, I may make a single video, okay, for active passive. Not now, maybe a few weeks later. And let's see which next topic will be taken up on my channel. So I'm planning to upload some YouTube shorts as well in the near future, because I haven't uploaded since quite long. Last one was the Moshmi vlog, and that wasn't like the vocabulary thing. Okay, I was speaking French, like pronunciation aspect, vocabulary will be covered for sure. But the way we have been doing, like homophones, mispronounced French words, those shorts have not been done since a long time, right? So I feel like I should do a few, like not more than 2-3, and then we will proceed with other videos. Okay. So yeah, let's put a halt here. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui. That's all for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel Learn French with Anubhav. And if you have any doubt or suggestion, you may write that in the comment section below. You may also like my Facebook page by the same name, Learn French with Anubhav. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Au revoir. N'oubliez pas que la langue française est l'amour.